this on this floor, sir, I better resign and leave.
As elections give the citizens the chance to make their political decisions, constant demand for quality leadership from those they voted into office.
Look at us, man, there is nothing, we are starving. Tinubu should please do something.
It's also important to having a Nigeria of everyone's dream. Join O꞉yemi as it takes to task seasoned analysts, opinion makers, business professionals, and politicians on issues around politics, policies, governance, and leadership every Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial Mainland 98.3 FM. We'll welcome you next as we discuss the situations.
Open defecation in Nigeria perpetuates a cycle of poor health, environmental degradation, and undermines human dignity. With approximately 47 million people practicing open defecation nationwide, Nigeria ranks among the top countries globally with the highest number of individuals who lack access to proper sanitation facilities. The stats look grim. The overriding effect in itself can be terrible to our general well-being. In that light, we from Mainland 98.3 FM call on the government to increase its efforts in providing public toilets to end this scourge. And we also encourage the citizenry to imbibe proper hygiene and not defecate in public.
What about sunrise? What about rain? What about all the things that you said we were to get?
You're very welcome. It's the Situation Room live on Mainland 98.3 FM. Studio time check is 3 minutes past the hour 4. And I want to specially welcome you to the Thursday edition of the program. We're gradually moving to the end of the week and ultimately the end of the month. By the time we're back next week, Thursday, it's going to be a happy new month. It's going to be a new conversation entirely. But I'm sure you know that we get to do these every Mondays to Fridays from 4 to 5:30 p.m. It is called the Situation Room. So it's you know, a blend of a lot of things. So whatever it is that is gaining national discourse, we bring the politics, information, enlightenment. I remember we started this conversation on Monday. We hosted the president of Premium Bread Makers Association of Nigeria, that's PBAN. That's Engineer Nora Emmanuel. He was our guest on Monday, and then he took us through some of the issues you need to know in respect to how the quality of bread you consume affects you. I mean, it was an amazing conversation. I had loads of people asking us for recordings of that. I said, hey, it's not even a problem. Go to our Facebook page, you would find it there. Go to our YouTube page, you would also find it there. Once again, you're welcome. And today is Thursday. What that means is I have the privilege of hosting the head of political desk of Guardian newspaper. Mr. Miwadiem is live with me in the studio, and in the midst of all of these having to balance this and that, a whole lot of responsibilities, I've been able to pull him live in the studio today. And we're going to focus on two major things today. First off, at the invitation of the national president of the Nigerian Labour Congress. Well, earlier today, the leadership of the NLC directed that all the national offices and affiliate unions should accompany the president, Comrade Joe Ajaero, to the police headquarters. Remember, the invitation of the Inspector General of Police on allegation of terrorism financing, a huge allegation, leveled against the number one labor person in Nigeria. A lot of people have brought in so much political coloration to the invitation, but we'll talk about all of that on the show today. Mr. Miwadiem will help us understand the political implication of such. What does it say about how these governments view some of this, or perhaps there are a lot of things that we don't know that the government knows. We'll get back into that. And We'll also look at one particular, issue that has dominated the public discourse all through the last 2 or 3 weeks. The decision of the Ministry of Education vis-a-vis the federal government SSC, the one they call WAEC. It started off with JAM restricting the admission age to 18, and then last week the Minister of Education, Professor Tariq Mam, JAM and NECO to harmonize that no student under the age 18. A lot of controversy. The national president of the Parent Teacher Association of Nigeria, he supported the move, but there's also been to take your thoughts. They're one of the most underrated artists that we have in Nigeria. Amazing. My name is 광ᴜ Akinda, and it's always my pleasure to have you join us every Mondays to Fridays from 4 to 5:30 p.m. Mr. Miwa, it's another time to talk politics on radio, and first off, I must appreciate you for always finding time to either be with us in person or joining us virtually. Once again, good evening and good to have you join us in the studio.
Good evening, Lagos, and good evening, 광ᴜ.
Well, so let's get straight up into it. Before we even get into the main issue itself, there is issue of flooding right now that the country is dealing with, and then the numbers are not good. About 22 states at the moment. Agency talked about over 100 lives have been lost, about 27 states are affected, over 250,000 people have been displaced across over 30 communities scattered across the federation, and these warnings have been given. Remember, the Nigerian Meteorology Agency actually announced that some states are at high risk, some states are mid risk, and I remember I think around March or April thereabouts. But look at where we are right now. Is it that the government is not exactly paying attention to the issue of flooding in submerging houses? It washes farms and investment into billions of naira away, and with all of this food crisis that we're talking about, what are we doing wrongly with the issue of I'm not even talking of climate change now, it looks like it's alien to us, but let's even talking about controlling flooding in this country, Mr. Miwa, with all of the ecological funds that we are getting from foreign funding and our foreign counterparts. Every single rainy season we're back on this issue again. What are we doing wrongly?
Well, I think let's look at this issue not from a point of what government has done and what has not done, which we still comment to. But the truth is that I think depletion of ozone layers, and we're talking about this issue of climate change, Nigeria is affected because if you see the rainy season this year, throughout the end of from middle of July to almost August ending, right? Last week, I think there was no rain.
There was no rain.
Do you understand? And it's
unusual.
It's quite unusual because I think normally by August, there should be kind of what we call an August break. But it won't be more than 1 or 2 weeks, right? But when you see this, all those things are, I think, examples or what those are things you can classify as the impact of
climate change,
right? But now in Nigeria, people have been talking of forest depletion. You see how people fell through every time, and this where we cannot come into government, right? If people cannot afford kerosene, which is about 1,000 or 2,000 naira at least per bottle of Coke or whatever, and they could not longer afford to buy gas. So I think people in the rural communities where they see
firewood,
you understand? So you see them at least they're going into that, and then by and large, the more you do this, the more I think you prevent erosion, the kind of flooding we are talking about, because it opens the soil, the landmass open to any kind of thing for any attack. So, but in Nigeria, we have certain areas that have been prone to flooding. That begin to ask that if it happened last year, it happened previous years, what have we done to prevent it from happening this year? So I think your guess is good as mine. I think we know our government. I think when it comes to that, what people cannot easily assess them. They like optics. What they can do, and everybody will see.
That's what they always focus on.
That's what they always focus on. But the issue of fighting against flooding, do you understand that you people in the public will not see? it will not attend. It will not attract the attention of the the bloggers of the media. So they are not interested in that. So because it's something happen constantly every year in a particular area with in particular version that has not changed. So you expect that if it happened last year before the last, then this year I think you continue to think that it's likely to happen again this year, even with the warning that been given by NIMET to say how do we prevent flooding? What do we do? There are many things on the tables of the government to do, but as we all know, they seem to be interested in that, and it's quite unfortunate. Farmlands have been washed away, lives have been lost, and the rain has not finally stopped. Before we can talk of Osana on this matter, maybe by October, ending of November. So anything may still happen, but I think the government should quickly take proactive action by stopping it now. But it might be too late, but it's not too late to start taking action. Because when you look at the way the damage has done to the farmland, this is a country we are talking of food insecurity. This is a country I think people are finding it difficult to feed, because few farmers that we have in the farm, very few of them. I think if this is happening to them, then how are we sure at least we are going to feed ourselves next year? Would there be any food available for Nigerians, or are we going to rely on importation of maize, rice, cassava, and the likes? And it's quite unfortunate. So it's unfortunate government has not been taking action that they ought to have been taking. The economic situation has made people to go back to the trees, do not stand to firewood, which is part of the reason causing this crisis. And again, by and large, the holistic approach into approaching and stopping this, we know it might happen. It's a natural, at times natural disaster, because it's something that we can completely control. You won't see to the street of California. You see flooding in advanced countries, just where they have more serious government than what we have here. But it's like we are not doing anything, at least to prevent at least this flooding. Lagos, I think it's still. I think we can still not say is that we are Lagos have been insulated from it. But we pray that Lagos government will take clue for what is happening elsewhere, to know that we are also very close to the beach here, right? I think we know whenever it rains in Lagos,
it's a problem.
It's a problem, and we know the reasons for. We have said this here. When they try to distill or clean the drainages, we know that even they will not even pack it, I think, until another rain comes back and washes those things back.
And it's going to block somewhere.
It's blocking. I think it's blocking all the waterways. Apart from houses, apart from illegal structure. Don't understand. But we have also other impediments that are not allow free flow of flows of water in Lagos. So we think and we believe that what is happening now in the other part of the country
should be a learning.
Should be a lesson. The Lagos State government, I think, to continue taking action and to prevent such from happening. If it's happening elsewhere, you are recording lesser number of casualties. The population of Lagos and how congested the state is, and God forbid any bad thing happening. But their government in Lagos should immediately start taking action to prevent such occurrence from happening here.
Thank you very much, Mr. Miradeemi, for giving out such warnings, because I know that we're always in a system where people get very reactive rather than being proactive. So until the cars, start getting submerged, until the houses start getting submerged, until people, I know we're always quick to post those videos. Oh, Lekki is this and that, and even we also have roles to play in all of this. People are building structures, illegal structures on right of way of water, and a lot of
what's stop going from demolishing those
I know all of the things that follows with the Lagos State Commissioner for Environment, and I think for me it's probably one of the most unliked commissioners in Lagos, because you look at some of this. I remember I had to do a report on the Odo issue, the building, and when I saw where we had to pass, how close that particular building that was demolished that got everyone talking was close to the right of way. I just felt like we also have roles to play. I mean, you're renting an apartment and you've seen that this place is an illegal. See, it is easy for us to blame government, apart from even the ones that wait for rain and then they empty their debts in a drainage, and you know that thing is going to block somewhere.
Yes,
we all have roles to play. When we talk about the ozone layer being depleted, say, oh, I don't burn firewood, I don't release gas, but you also know that you also have your roles to play with this environmental degradation that we're talking about. Some
of us use generators.
Yes.
And we still have all these more low, I think, rickety vehicles.
There are even cars that you wonder, how are these cars? Because I remember there was a time there's this MOT test everywhere. I'm wondering, how are these cars allowed to be on the road when you see the smoke and all of that?
But sorry, those people doing this MOT, do they test commercial vehicles?
They don't. They don't. That one is money now. That money comes in. Let's get straight up into the conversation today. The Nigerian police force have released the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Comrade Joe Ajaero, after a short interview today. Recall that the Nigerian Police Intelligence Response Team (IRT) in Abuja has invited Comrade Joe Ajaero over allegations of terrorism, financing, cybercrime, subversion, criminal conspiracy, and treasonable felony. Well, when this issue started, or when the letter came out, I think about 2 weeks ago, a lot of people were talking about, oh, this is wrong, is this, but let me start from here. Mr. Miwademi, is Comrade Joe Ajaero above the law? Let's even start from here first.
No Nigerian is above the law. Even the president of the country is not above the law, unless you are. I think that means we are not playing. We are not governing a democratic, I think, government. That's because everybody must be under the law. There must be rule of law, right? So no human being, but I think no human being, right from Mr. President to the lowest ranking Nigerian, we are all under and must submit to the law. We must submit to the law. So nobody's above the law. Nobody.
Okay.
Nobody.
I mean, I had to just put that out. He said the NLC's invitation today, he was there in the company of human rights activist Femi Falana, Maxwell Okpara, Dejade, and a host of other lawyers. Mr. Ajaero was allowed to leave immediately. A member of the team of lawyers disclosed that there was no need to detain or request for bail as the interview lasted very short. He was supposed to present himself last week or thereabouts, but he, responded through his lawyer, Mr. Femi Falana, saying that he already had, agreement somewhere in an event somewhere that I needed to. But let's get back into this conversation. These crimes or these allegations are quite weighty. Let me read them in case some of us don't understand. He said, terrorism financing,
Yes.
cybercrime, subversion, criminal conspiracy, and treasonable felony. When you saw all of these things and then you looked at the personality involved, does this sound like an unusual thing, or you feel, hey, don't worry, this is politics at play again?
Well, I think it's quite unusual. I think to allege a labor union leader of those crimes. I don't call it crimes now. Well, let's call it crimes.
There are still allegations.
There are still allegations. But by and large, let me tell you something. When the issue started, what first came to many people's mind, including myself, is why would they want to arrest him? Even if this is a trump up charges, you understand why, right? I think you might be saying, okay, what did he do wrong? Do you get my point? Now let's look at the scenario. The minimum wage issue has been concluded. Immediately, Mr. President intervened, right? Ajaero and his guy complied, whether they like it or they didn't, whether it's second of 100,000, but immediately Mr. President intervened. You understand? I think they complied, right? Now, waiting only for implementation. And when Mr. President, immediately they complied with the President, he sent, I think, the bill to the National Assembly, right? And has been passed and has become a law. So as far as that one is concerned,
it's case closed.
He has no issue to grind on that at that level with the presidency. Then secondly, you look at the demonstration, the protest they had last. NLC was not an active participant in it. People they said it clearly that their interest was a minimum wage, and they have cleared it. And that's why one of the reasons we are saying that protest, I think, was not well organized.
Because the NLC did not get involved.
Yes, because there was no structure, at least already where there could be communication with the command structure and for that protest, and which we blame for certain things that happened in the Kano, Zamfara, and few other Plateau and few other states, right? Because NLC did not participate. So why NLC did not participate in the strike? On the protest,
neither did they have affiliate members also.
Neither, right? So they stood aloof throughout the period, right? And they've settled the issue of minimum wage to the government. And even when government has made it into law, government must, and it is a law. So if any state didn't want to pay it, at least they can stand on the side of the law to say, oh, this law must be implemented to let us, and that we have not reached that stage. I haven't done all this. Now imagine that what could have cost let's say the security agencies that might want to go after him, right? That's another thing. Let's look at it again politically. Barrister Abure and NLC leaders, they understand they are not in talking terms. Do you understand? I'm talking of the leadership of Nigeria Labour Congress. The
Labour
Party
and the
NLC. So I think it is an open secret. Don't understand, because they told Abure that his tenure has ended, and the so-called Kangaroo Congress held in Anambra, and they did not recognize it, that the man must step down. Do you understand? So the point I'm trying to make is that politically, NLC is not supporting Labour Party as it is now, because they wanted to hijack the structure, and they from Abure. Do you understand? And Abure is telling them, no, that you are even not financing member. Once you have not picked the card of the party,
you are not recognized,
and you are not paying their monthly or yearly due, you are not a member. Do you understand? So which brings to the issue that the ownership of the Labour Party, do you understand, vis-a-vis NLC claim. NLC started it. Do you understand? I think they championed it. But when it comes to Labour Party as an institution under Electoral Act and under the 1999 Constitution, it does not recognize NLC as a stakeholder of that party. Like you and I started in the institution. Do you understand? So the party is 100% being controlled by the executive and the BOT of the party. Right, like any other party. So no affiliation as far as law is concerned. So if you're not removing what do you call it?
The political coloration to
Ajero, I think, from Labour Party issue now. Do you understand? Labour Party, they begin to say, can Labour Party as it is now, is Labour Party a threat to the presidency? No. You understand? If it's PDP, yes, I went to PDP, but as it is now, Labour Party is not a threat to federal government. Now look at it again. In Imo State, when Ajero went to demonstrate a few days to election, that was
November last year
to Imo State governorship election, right? He had brought with I think the government opposite Odima, and the government there alleged of political interest. Do you understand that he had political interest in who becomes the governor of the state? Would that be a carryover of it? No. Uzodinma has won election,
and everybody has
moved on. But the security alleged that a foreigner rented a shop apartment in the LNC secretariat. Do you understand? So they found that within that 4 walls of those that was apartment rented, there are a lot of illegal activities going on, including cyber crime, all those things are good. Do you understand? You now begin to wonder that is Joe Ajero is the caretaker
of the building.
Do you understand? I can have a property now. Do you understand? If you have a property in Lekki and you have an estate agent managing, do you understand? You are not bound to know
what is going on.
What is going on? Like who is your tenant or who is not your tenant. Do you understand? But once the agent has come, fill the form, and says that filled all the laws of the land, do you understand? It's the agent that should be responsible. And whoever that's managing the property should be liable to the tenants being rented, right? But now we have not seen that any agent being arrested for that. Now, why are you linking Ajero to it? We will continue to guess. Do you understand? But what I would expected to happen is that if a policeman just invited you, I have been invited severally, right? In the course of my duty, right? I think in the 90s, do you understand? I think I was invited by SSS at Changisha several times, and we went there. Police had invited us. We went there, and after I think at times the company will ask the company lawyer to follow you. Do you understand? Most times they will follow us, and we will go there. They will ask us questions, and thereafter now we will go. Even when they wanted to do some of our people during Abacha, do you understand? They detained them. Do you understand? But that was under military, and they were not tried. That's another thing entirely. But we are now in a democratic setting. I don't see why they are making issue out of this matter, and I'm telling you the truth. Do you understand? But you know what? Femi Falana is eminently qualified. Do you understand? He's a senior advocate of Nigeria and has been in this familiar terrain for not just yesterday or today. Do you understand? But he knew that they need public sympathy. They need attention of the public to this part because they don't know what government has in the offing. So that's why they wrote so that he has some things to do, which is quite wrong. How will you say want to see you today on a matter that bothers us?
That's why I asked you at the first that is Comrade Joe Ajero above the law. Should he choose when to honor invitation?
That is almost a week. Do you understand? I said that to me he is wrong. Do you understand? Once you are invited by the police, do you understand? And you know your hands are clean, right? You call your lawyers, you go and meet them. Here I am. 8 a.m. no problem. Do you understand? If DB you are out of the country or out of the state, right? That might take you time to come. Please give me till tomorrow. Do you understand? Or give me till 3 p.m. I won't be around that 8 a.m. But by 3 o'clock I'll be available. And that's a press conference. Do you understand? Because you need public sympathy, you need public protection, right? So you can address a press conference, and you and your lawyers, you go there with the journalists. Do you understand? You have neighbor reporters. Do you understand? There's no media organization in this country that will not have a labor reporter, right? So you go there with them, right? After the interrogation, I think they will leave you. But now, I don't want to jump into conclusion. But the best thing we can say here is that let whatever what is transparent, make it transparent and open. If you are alleged of such big, serious offenses, do you understand? The public are interested in knowing what actually transpired and what happened. Did he commit such offenses, or some people committed it on his behalf, or it was a mistake, right? Because if those things were not cleared, somebody somewhere will use it against Ajero, right? No allegation, but in Nigeria, you know, they will start telling you now, oh, there can be smoke without fire. Do you understand? So it will become a political issue thereafter. But whatever is happening there, Nigerians are interested, and the police should not in any way hide anything from public, because I think now all of us are focused on saying what will have happened. Do you understand? How will the NLC, I think president, be accused of terrorism? Do you understand? How will he be accused?
I mean, these are huge allegations of treasonable felony.
I think who is he working with to at least to topple the government? Who is he working with? We are talking of treasonable felony. We are talking of cyber security, cyber crime. We are talking of terrorism. Do you understand? We are talking of security, terrorism financing. Do you understand? With whose money? So, but where I say that there are still a lot of issues here that we as Nigerians are yet to clear about, and we will continue to guess and guess, which is not good, because the more we guess, you will see people saying that they want to shut him out, they want to shut his mouth. Some people have been alleging that because now they didn't want that implementation of that 70,000, so that's why they were inviting. That's why they would shut the man and those maybe put him in a cooler. You understand? There will be a lot of insinuation, and it's going to be against the government. So if the government love itself, you understand, it should not allow rumor mongering to strive in this matter. Make everything you are doing open. If truly you found those things worthy of taking him to court, charge him to open court. Let him go and read the charges against him.
Let him plead guilty or not.
Let him defend himself. Understand? And if not, apologize. If not, apologize. And I'm expecting his lawyers. But when I said, I think I cannot doubt the competence of
Barrister Femi Falana.
I cannot doubt his competence, especially in this particular terrain. Because I know they must have been working seriously on it. These are serious allegations. Do you understand that we are interested in knowing what actually happened? Do you understand? And if there will be, I think there must be a thorough investigation. If I expected the NLC, do you understand, to have come out with a very robust document about all these allegations and that what might have led to it, who is behind what. But for not doing that, they are not doing themselves as well any good. If government has not come up, at least to say as to why they are raising these allegations, let NLC also come out. They have, I think they have media, they have people in their research, they have people, you know when you play this game, you also must have your ears everywhere. You understand? So who I think who is alleging what? Why are they alleging all this? Let them come to the public and beat government to it. Do you get my point? Let it become a public discussion first. If some people are trying to play game, if it's about 2027, if it's not about 2027, if it's about any interest anywhere, let them also, if government has not come up, but let the NSC also come up and say this is the reason why there is this allegation. And with that one, I think they were beating them to it, and Nigeria will begin to look at how to think the direction to think about and to know what's actually happening. But as we are now, until we begin to see charges or we begin to get a clearer picture from them, we'll continue to guess.
I actually decided to have this conversation on the show today because it's not a matter that is in court yet, so we can still discuss it, and that's why we decided to just throw more light on it. But I mean, after a brief appearance and interview, the national president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Comrade Joe Ajaero, was released today.
Now.
And the funny thing is that all of the affiliate members and all of the 36 state chapters of the NLC had mobilized that everybody should go to the police headquarters. And I mean, I picked up your line to avoid stories that touch, to avoid come in and then they use backdoor. But I really hope that all of these does not have any political coloration to it, because it's going to be a whole lot of mess. But just like Mr. Adeyemi said, we'll still keep our fingers crossed and wait if he's going to be charged to court. If it's because the letter does not say the NLC building or the NLC, they said the NLC president was the one the allegations were laid against.
But no, when they went ready, what the police said was that I think one of the shops
at the NLC complex,
do you understand, being used
to fund terrorism and cybercrime. So the allegation had to be against the NLC president. Welcome to Nigeria, Mr. Adeyemi. Let's quickly flip the coin. The federal government has announced that individuals under the age of 18 will no longer be allowed to participate in NECO and WAEC exams. The Minister of Education, Professor Tᴜɪᴛᴜ disclosed it over the weekend, and he said the policy is not new, but has been in place for some time, and he further emphasized that the age limit for UTME coordinated by JAMB also remains set at 18. He reiterated that both WAEC and NECO would no longer permit underage students to sit for their exams, stressing that candidates must have completed the requisite years of study before being allowed to write the exam. He said, and I quote, "Yes, it is 18 years. What we did at the meeting with JAMB in July was to allow this year to serve as a kind of notice to parents that this year JAMB would admit students who are below that age. But from next year, JAMB is going to insist that anybody applying to go to university in Nigeria must meet the required age. For the avoidance of doubt, this is not a new policy. It is a policy that has been there for a very long time. Mr. Miwademi. Yesterday, because this conversation had raged on, and if you follow me on some of my social media platforms, you would see my position on these issues. Not position actually, but the engagement. And in one of that, the Deputy Speaker of Plateau House of Assembly, called me yesterday morning, and he was like, "Oh, that he's been seeing the conversation. He followed the station also, and he said he took his daughter for screening in one of the universities, and she's a little over 16, and then they denied her. They did not allow her to get screened, and all of that." Mr. Miwa, we all agree that this policy is not new, but we're running democracy. Our laws are flexible. Our laws are open to constant reviews. Even that's why you mentioned the 1999 Constitution as amended. The electoral laws have been reviewed. When you saw these, vis-a-vis the reality of what we have on ground now, how global everything is, tell me your opinion about this. And what does it say about the economic or the educational policy under this administration?
I'll discuss this with my political lens. Because we are discussing politics here. Policy. I think not all laws of the land that are implementable. Some laws are there in our, I think maybe in our status book that many people have not heard about. Do you understand? Because they found it difficult to implement. Do you get my point? At times you try to implement some laws. At times it's called that it's getting unpopular and difficult to implement. So that 18 years has been our statute book since last. Ask them when last did they try to implement it. You know what? We are just trying to go forth and back in this country. This is a country that a 13-year-old girl can marry. But 16-year-old girl cannot enter university. Do you understand? But the 13-year-old girl can become a mother, can become a wife. Do you understand? Of a 60-year-old man, right? So it can be a mother, 13-year-old girl. And the same country you are telling us that a 16-year-old girl at least cannot enter. You know what? You begin to wonder when they woke up from the bed that day. Do you understand? Which stage did they sleep?
Left or right? Left or right.
Do you understand? Because I don't know anybody that's familiar with education in the South. In the South, yeah. Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm using my political lens to view this matter. Will anybody in right senses that grew up, that understood the education level in the West or in the South, you understand, will be talking of not allow 18-year-old student from entering university, when by now you see many students by 14, 15, they've graduated from secondary school with brilliant colors. Right? What do you expect them to do for the next 2 3 years? Wait and be and be mothers and be fathers or join Yahoo group when you know that we all say it. Don't understand? I do aunt.
It's the devil's workshop.
So what do you expect to do? Are they not copied in their universities? You ask. Those are the questions you ask yourself. Are they not copying? Right. My daughter entered UI at the age of 16. She's supposed to do law for 5 years. Ended spending 6 years. Do you understand? Graduated at the age of 22. Even if supposed to go to law school now, that law school delayed till next year.
And after then, she'll still go for NYSC.
She will still go for NYSC. Right. Do you understand? She graduated UI with first class law. Do you understand? At the age of 22. So, this is a young lady that from primary to secondary school she has been coming first. So I'm telling me after that secondary school, when she finished at the age of 15 plus, we want me to now what will she be doing at home for 2.5 years, 2.5 years, to go and learn baking or tailoring, or to sit there at home just eating? I can't understand. Do you understand? You know what? There was a day I discussed something here about the contradiction in Nigeria with how we see development. That the way we see development here and the most others how they see development, but we are not seeing it from the same angle. And let me share one experience with you, and very personal to me. You know, when Jubri Aminu was a prof. At the time, Professor Jubri Aminu was a VC of University of Maiduguri, and he was a diplomat, right? And later he was a minister for education for many years. And when he was minister for education, he cancelled A levels completely, right? You know, before some universities don't take JAMB. They look at, after the secondary school, you have to go for A levels. So through A levels, you enter. So I entered university with A levels. I went to the defunct Oyo State College of Arts and Science, Ilefe. It's an A level school, right? And I would have wished my children to pass through that process, right? Because I discovered that the way I studied, you not only me, some of my colleagues, maybe some of them will be hearing me here now. The way we read, the way we studied, while we are doing levels, I didn't do half of it, even to my master's level. I did not. I had serious reading the way I had it during my A level. I'd ask anybody that passed through advanced levels, right? So, but Jubri Aminu cancelled it. So when Jubri Aminu won election in 2003 to become senator, I was in Adamawa. I covered that election. So after celebrating with Atiku that won second term, and Boni Haruna that won as governor. He invited us, some from journalists. He invited us, about 6 of us. So we went to his house. So when I got to him, he brought a lot of suya. We're celebrating and kind of a few of us and I told him straight that, sir, do you know I didn't like you? The man was shocked. You know, somebody
you're in my house. I'm hosting you. You're eating my food.
He won. His election was announced on Sunday that he won, and invited us on Monday. Do you understand? And right inside in his sitting room, and I was telling you, I didn't like you.
I don't like you.
So, but gentlemen, we have never met. What will I have done wrong? I said, because as a minister of education, you cancelled A levels. I would have loved my children to pass through that process to get admission to university. I saw it as the height of education, that whoever can pass through A levels and passed, and will just easily, whatever, we are talking of 19th of, you know, if the entire North have stopped doing A levels, because it's too difficult for them to pass. So that is the problem. I'm bringing this back now, right? If some people are having difficulty to leave secondary school
early enough,
must you delay
the other people?
And you know that there been many policies, not only in education, that the way the South is moving very fast, you have to delay them for them to catch up with it, for the North to catch up with them. And then if they could not do that through federal policy, federal what do you call it, federal character again, where somebody will score 280 in JAMB will not get admission to law because it's from
a certain zone,
start here, and somebody will score 240
and get it because it's from somewhere else,
and for the same faculty.
Even the unity schools, the cutoff are different.
Why must it be that in a country? We're talking of excellence. So if people leave secondary school at the age of 20 or 21 elsewhere, must use that to stop somebody, an environment that by 14 years they're ready to fly. Go and see some brilliant students. I think by 14, 15 university, how marvelous, they are doing fantastically well because they are brilliant. Are we not seeing some students at the age of 18, 17 graduating in Harvard, graduating in Oxford, graduating in most of these ivory towers? So why must it be a policy of the country? A particular university can say I'm not admitting more than 18. Good for that university. A particular university can say I'm not admitting
less than 20.
That is good for that university. But the university can say once you can pass my exam, whatever your age is 13 or 14, come and try your luck. Right. But that's also why I'm talking of granting autonomy to universities. That ASUU has already been talking about. Are they looking in this direction or only in direction of just getting money for the federal government? Why must the JAMB be regulating a university to this level? So we have some gifted children that are so brilliant that we wonder the level of their brilliance. Do you want to just stagnate them or divert their attention from serious academic work for 2-3 years because they unfortunately were born in Nigeria? Go and see some students that some are extraordinarily brilliant. You know, there was a case of one boy that happened about when they wanted to do that thing about 3 or 4 years ago. There was a case of a boy of 13 or 14 years that gave admission to UI, and then when they should, after said they should bring the student to the school, yes. But I think it's somewhere because the issue that I thought I mentioned, the boy was taken to university in America. So those guys will now be in America and now be performing wonders. Do you understand? And if we are now, because we're in an environment that parents are find difficult to feed children. So you keep a son, a daughter active, at that age, you keep them at home doing nothing. And whereas, do you know that even if students nowadays, if they write this work, jump twice or thrice,
the more you write it, the weaker your
diminishing. Yes, number for human beings. So wait, no. If you did not do any serious academic work for 2 years,
there's a possibility that the reading you had from school
and in the age now they have access to many information. So they sit down and talk on Twitter every day, Facebook it.
They're
distracted. You understand? Whoever is making that policy is not helping this country. Whoever is trying to bring a dead policy that could not be implemented, you understand? Now see it's a necessary distraction, at least to decimate certain part of the country, and then the southerners should see it so. They should see it so. The southern politicians, the southern governors should see it so that it's not for any national interest. Do you understand? But to slow them down for some to catch up.
Now, Mr. Muyiwa, you've opened this conversation up to the point where, I mean, a lot of people are beginning to say, should we now have a policy then that mandates all public office holders to have their kids here? Now, let me tell you something. During the Senate presidency of Senator Bukola Saraki, when he was distinguished Senate president,
yes,
one of his sons graduated from a school in the UK at the age of about 22 or thereabouts. Majority of these policy makers, they don't have their children in this country.
Don't.
So now they have their own children that are graduating at 21, 22,
18 in London.
Now, is this something that you think the National Assembly need to wake up to? Let me paint this. Mr. Muyiwa, I was a bit privileged to also graduate early. I was barely 16 when I wrote my secondary school leaving exams. By 17 I was already in school. By 22 I was done. I felt like I was young. I didn't have to go into the labor market to work. I went back for my second degree. I finished my second degree. I went for a master's, and look at it now. I'm hoping that I will probably get a sponsor somewhere to push my PhD dream. But imagine if you have to stay at home, Mr. Muyiwa.
Doing what?
Then ASUU will keep you for years. You use 7 years for a 5-year course. Then they don't mobilize you on time for NY. But a lot of these challenges are much. You want to apply for jobs and they will tell you that 27 years with 5 years experience.
25 years.
What do you think the National Assembly need to do to act on this policy? Because the world is global now. You talked about kids with special talent. somebody was saying that, oh, let us put them those 2 years, they will go and learn welder, they will go and learn fabrication, they will go and learn bag making, they will go and learn handwork, so that when they get to school, is this the right way to go? And more, even beyond all of this, Mr. Miwa, is this supposed to be the priority of the Ministry of Education with the list of challenges that the Nigerian universities are facing?
You know what? People are getting some things wrong. Do you understand what I'm saying? Let me give you an instance. Sorry to them, I'm using my children as an example here, right? I have kids. Let's say they are twins, right? A boy and a girl. A boy is with the engineering, he read civil engineering. Do you understand? And the girl read law.
I think the girl had been in the studio here with you before.
Yes. She read law. Because she read law, I think there was a period when Asu was on strike, right? He wanted to say that, Dad, let me go and learn this fashion and art. What do you call it? This beauty, this art. Where they beautify what do you call it?
This interior decoration.
No, not decoration. No, where they paint faces for ladies.
Oh, makeup and all of that.
Okay. Let me go for makeup. I said, because you are in first class, right? My dream is that you have to make this first. I don't want any distraction. You are not learning anything. You are not learning anything. Growth, face this. I want you to achieve that. Do you understand? I did not allow for any distraction. I did not. He's a brother. Do civil engineering. He was a second class upper, right? But I see that one very versatile. Do you understand? He did many courses. Do you understand? He did cyber security at home. Do you understand? Apart from this cyber security, he did another thing about interior, whatever, online courses. He did about 3 different online courses during that 1 year strike. But this one, I just made that continue reading anything about law. I took out of ⴏⴏ chambers. Ibadan, to go, I didn't just go and stay with them there. To be doing whatever I want to do with them there. Do you understand? And at the end of the day, I go to what I want to achieve because I know our brain. Do you understand? Not all brains can be distracted from a line they are. Some people can go into learning skills, right? No doubt. I have a daughter after a master's in international relations. Do you understand what I'm saying? She went to baking and is making more money in baking cake, all those things, than any other thing the job is doing. But you know, some people can do it. But it's not everybody that has the flair for go and do welder. It's not everybody that has flair to go and do carpentry. Each parent has the ability of understanding the stuff their children are made of and guide them, but not a government that will force them to go. Let's say after the education, you're now saying they must go and do NYSC for 2 years. I'm not. If you ask them after 2 years,
it doesn't change what they graduated with.
When they are setting up for academics, you don't want any distraction. Allow them to continue that way. Why must you say But I made a very valid point that National Assembly may kept quiet on it. How many National Assembly guys had their children in Nigerian schools? How many of them? The other time, Rᴏᴏ said when he started one policy in Kaduna that he's taking his last son to a public school. The boy did not attend the school for a month. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you keep the children of Aryan masses and your children who go. And at the end of the day, when they come back, all these blue chip companies will be telling you 23 years
with 3 years working experience.
Somebody that's graduated at 25-26 as soon go on strike. Now they are threatening another one.
Strike
now, and they will sit down at home after leaving secondary school at 15 plus for 2.5 years, and they are not sure that they are passing that jump once.
That jump, yes.
Do not passing about us at times. If you go and pick a university that is highly competitive, your children will score 250. I'm not get admission.
Even pass post 2 but they still won't get admission.
Because if it's competitive with that university, and you start see another university, they're not that competitive. Now somebody scoring lesser, let's do 10, will get admission with merit. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is that there is no reason you have to limit the children. If they have the capacity to study, let them go and study. we've produced many genius, and the country is looking forward to produce many, and then we are in the age. So do they stop children in America or Britain that until they are 20 before they can get admission? Do they stop them in Japan? I wish to know, because I don't know. I don't know why. What is that the priority in this country now? As we go into strike, you have not stopped that one. All the universities are getting rotten. You have not stopped that one.
There's almost no funding.
No Nigerian universities rank among the first 500 best universities in the world. You are not concerned about that. Most of the universities recognized in Africa, they're in South Africa mostly. Even Ghana universities are ranked higher than here. It's not your priority. So your priority is to produce, I think, children that have been diverted to many other things before they get admission to university. That's not that I don't know who's thinking for them, and I don't know the purpose of what you achieve with that one. But to me, I've not seen any reason beyond it than attempt to slow down
a region for others to catch up.
Because the way these boys and girls are going, don't understand, and everybody's supposed to look up to, I think, what he wanted to achieve. If you see the South, that education is thriving stronger in South, right? Let them emulate what they are doing rightly here. You understand?
Not slow it down.
Don't slow it down. You don't slow people down.
Mr. Miwademi, we're due for our first break by 5 o'clock, and that's going to be the headline news. And when we come back, the lines have been buzzing since you started this conversation. I will invite you to join us on 0913-600-0410 for calls, 0913-600-0430 for your text messages, and you can also go on facebook.com/mainland98.3 FM. We're streaming this program live. You can also drop your comment. I have the chief political editor of Guardian newspaper live in the studio, and I will be right back after the headline news, and I will also pay some bills. You're live on Mainland FM, and don't go nowhere.
Headline news on 98.3 Mainland FM.
Good evening. Headline news on Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Omobola Sandra. Hassan Soweto slams new WAEC and NECO age limits as unnecessary controversy. Calls for review summit. Afam Osigwe sworn in as 32nd NBA president. President Tinubu jets out to China on official visit. FRC set to launch mobile app for license and number plates check. Federal government okays 50% electricity subsidy for public hospitals. On the foreign scene, Elon Musk ordered to appoint ex-representative in Brazil or face platform suspension. And in sports, Napoli signs Lukaku as Osimhen makes his decision. That's the headline news on Mainland FM. Details at 5:30.
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM. The sound of Lagos.
Meals have a way of taking us on a journey, and when you add plenty of vegetables like efo, ugu, and season with the rich taste of Knorr seasoning cubes, even better.
So, go ahead and elevate your meals with more vegetables and the rich taste of Knorr cubes. Today, eat for good.
Chai, my head, oh, Ogala Lord. Why you dey shake like ceiling fan? My village people don't come again. Oh. This one with your body hot so. You don't do test? Yes. See result oh. Oga landlord, no be your village people. Na malaria. You need Luta. Luta na better medicine. We dey knock down malaria. Oya see am. Take am. Hey, thank you, Oga Luta. I don't can't pay. Luta, brand of Artemata and Lumefantrine, is another quality product from Hovid, marketed by Pharmatex Nigeria Limited. If symptoms persist after 3 days, see your doctor.
Everybody saying thanks, Luta. Malaria's in big trouble.
Who takes a plate of jollof rice to the next level of goodness? Is it when it is cooked with non-seasoning cubes for that sumptuous taste? Or when you serve it with correct Nigerian salad, cabbage, carrot, lettuce, and a bit of kidney beans?
It's both. Season your jollof with the rich taste of Knorr cubes and serve with plenty of vegetables. So, go ahead and elevate your meals. Today, eat for good.
Don't you hate it when you're waiting for a song and an ad pops up? Well, we've got you with Flexa Bundle from MTN. You can listen to over 100 million songs ad-free on Apple Music. Yeah, you heard right. Just dial *305*8# and enjoy a whole 1 month of Apple Music and 1 gigabyte of data for just 1,750 naira airtime. Remember, *305*8# to enjoy Flexa Bundle from MTN. And guess what? Flexa Bundle works on both iOS and Android. So, whether you are rocking an iPhone or an Android phone, you are good to go. MTN, what are you doing today?
Looking for ways to save your data? It starts with your apps. Deleting unused apps helps, but there is more. Most apps have data saver modes. Activate them to control data usage. You can also go to settings to turn off auto updates. Lastly, close unused apps to save data when you ain't using your apps. These changes can make a big difference. For more information, visit your mobile operator's website or consumer.ncc.gov.ng for more helpful tips. Stay connected and enjoy smarter data usage. This message is brought to you by the Association of Telecom Operators and Nigerian Communications Commission.
Guys, you need to check your NIN status. I cannot say this enough because the next batch of borrowing will start again soon. I know some of us have submitted our NIN multiple times, but your NIN has not been linked to your lines either because your picture on MTN portal might be different from the one on NIMC portal, or you got married and changed your name, or another person registered your line for you when you bought it, or you mistakenly used a wrong date of birth, and many other reasons. But don't worry, MTN has made it easier to link your NIN in just 2 minutes from the comfort of your home, office, or while you're on the move. No need to visit MTN office and join the queue. If you use a smartphone, you can visit nin.mtn.ng or dial *996*4# on your MTN line. Just follow the instructions and you're done in under 2 minutes. Remember, borrowing will start again very soon. Link your NIN to avoid stories that touch. MTN. What are we doing today?
Attention everyone, this is an important message about cholera.
Cholera is a serious disease, but we can stop it together.
Remember to always drink clean, safe water. Boil or treat your water before drinking. Wash your hands with soap and clean water, especially before eating and after using the toilet.
Cook your food thoroughly and eat it while it is hot.
Keep your surroundings clean and dispose of waste properly. If you or anyone you know shows symptoms like severe diarrhea or vomiting, seek medical help immediately.
Together, we can beat cholera and keep our community healthy.
This message is brought to you by Mainland 98.3 FM, Lagos. Stay safe, stay healthy.
Correct food, they always give me joy. That That's why anytime when I dey cook like this, I dey always season am with no cubes. Come add correct vegetables inside. Ugu, tatashe, shombo, onions. No one wey I no dey put. Na im make my pikin dem dey always enjoy my cooking.
Daddy, I never will. I want more.
You see?
Sama all your food with correct vegetables. Come season am with no cubes for that ogbonge delicious taste. Today, chop better. You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM. The sound of Lagos.
Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there's not. If there were,
in our quest to bring to the table issue-based conversation around nationhood and development, we have made 4 to 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday the perfect time to welcome you into the Situation Room as we continue to build the narrative about public service and accountability.
Mr. President, this Senate needs to know. Mr. President, this Senate needs to lend its voice to the plight of these people. Mr. President, there is nowhere I can say it except here. This is why I'm elected. If I cannot say these things on this floor, sir, I better resign and leave.
As elections give the citizens the chance to make their political decisions, constant demand for quality leadership from those they voted into office.
Look at us now, there is nothing, we are starving. Tinubu should please do something.
It's also important to having a Nigeria of everyone's dream. Join O꞉ as it takes to task seasoned analysts, opinion makers, business professionals, and politicians on issues around politics, policies, governance, and leadership every Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial Mainland 98.3 FM. We'll welcome you next as we discuss the situations.
Thank you very much for still staying with us. By 5:30, the full bulletin would come up, and by 6 o'clock, I will be back to take you through some of the issues in Nigerian sports space. The list of the Super Eagles would also discuss it on the show today, and of course, tomorrow evening by 11:59 will be the deadline for the transfer market. A lot of movement left, right, and center, but don't worry, we'll do all of that by 6 o'clock. We're back in the Situation Room. I will start this conversation from 4 o'clock with Mustamiwa Adeyemi, the chief political editor of Guardian newspaper. We looked at two issues. First, the national president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Comrade Joe Ajero, honored the invitation of the IRT to the police headquarters today on allegations of terrorism financing, cybercrime, subversion, and treasonable felony. But it was short, brief interview, according to what some of the lawyers said, and accompanying him actually is his lawyer, that's Mr. Femi Falan SCN, DJ Adeyonju, and a host of other people. But he said there was no need for bail, there was no need for him to be detained. The interview was short and it was released, and we'll just keep our fingers crossed because those allegations are quite weighty. And let's see the next line of action from the Inspector General of Police. Maybe we'll be charged, whatever it is. We'll keep you updated on that. Then we'll focus so much on the policy of the government to reduce or to prevent underage children. According to one of the Minister of Education, Professor Tari Maman, saying that WAEC and NECO will not allow children that are not 18 yet to write those exams. Remember, in July, JAM already brought up that policy that there won't be admission offered to children under the age of 18. Well, but my guest said something really significant. He said 16 is too early to get admission, but 13 is not too early to get married. Hey, different strokes for different folks. Let me have your thoughts. 0913-600-0410. You can join us, put a call through. What do you make of these policy? Well, you said it's not a new policy. The previous administration has not just implemented it, but I ask again, the laws are they made for us, or were made for the laws? The laws are made for the people. So the laws have to be subjected to constant changes to reflect our current realities. But what do I know? I'm just here. Let me have your thoughts. 0913-600-0430 for your messages. 0913-600-0410 for your calls. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good to have you join us on the show. Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Tosin. I'm calling from the area of Ikoyi.
Tosin from Ikoyi.
I'm heading to Lekki phase 1.
Okay, just join the conversation.
Yeah, please. I would love. See, the speaker has spoken well, but I don't know. I'm scared. Nigeria, I don't know where we are heading to. Number one, I want to ask if it were to be their children. I'm talking about the leaders, the lawmakers. If it were to be their children that is in this shoe, that they should not allow them to write jam at the age of 16. What are the appropriate year of writing jam? But in the north, you can marry at the age of 12 and 10.
Thank you very much. 0913-600-0410. Keep your calls coming in. I will also read your messages on Facebook and on 0913-600-0430. Just messages. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good to have you join us. Your name and where are you calling from?
This is Mr. Matthew from Anthony.
Okay, Mr. Matthew from Anthony. Good to have you on the show.
Yes, sir. Please, what I wanted to say is, please, Nigerians are suffering. We are confused. We are confused by the hand of all these our leaders. Hello, sir.
I'm with you.
Okay.
Hello. Ooh. Try and call back 0913-600-0410. Let me have your thoughts. You can also drop your messages on 0913-600-0430. You're live on Mainland 98.3 FM. Okay. Messages are coming in, and this one says it is not the ability to read and write or being able to invent what wonders afterwards, but a matter of values. The 18-year threshold for entering the university shown out by the government is one of the ways to getting back the country to a lost solid foundation education-wise. It should be encouraged. Allowing students below 18 entering to the university has harmed the children with information they don't need, hence their misuse of this information. Okay, that is Thompson Tochukwu Adele from Obaniko. He also said this crop of children graduate but their certificate and put their certificate in the cooler and they start playing music. Well, I don't know what that means. But I'm sure you know that there are PhD holders that are into music in this country. I'm sure you've heard of a lot of them. The son of the former Minister of Aviation under the administration of President Olusegun Obasanjo, that should be Dr. Mrs. Kema Chikwe. Yes, the son had an MSc and he's doing well for himself. It doesn't stop you. This is another conspiracy by this minister to further destroy the educational system, especially here in the south. I'm saying with a very big no, sir. Please, this policy is obscure, is irrelevant, is antiquated and out of fashion. We do not have children for thank you very much. I will not take that part of your message, but thank you. This one says, why do people derive joy in setting the country backward? First, it was the removal of history from the educational curriculum. Now it is WAEC and JAM age ceiling. Is this not an absurdity? Is this not an attempt to change the goalposts in the middle of the game? Just asking Patrick Onyata from Ikoyi. Thank you very much. On the age limit, there is even an angle we all seems to be missing out in the analysis. The policy will most likely widen the gap in the educational development between the children who go to public and higher education and their counterparts who go to the private ones. Just imagine adding the effect of that to the incident of strike and unrest in these institutions. That is this is Akin Adigun from Iyanokpaja. Okay. I'm texting from Ijoku. My name is Bolajon. Security Nigerians have frustrated so our leaders. We have security operatives who have neglected their jobs. They're interested in responding to trivial and useless security matters. Okay. You made mention of Bobrisky, but let's leave that conversation. Thank you very much. 0913-600-0410. Talk to us Okay, this one says, my name is Festus. God bless your guest. He has spoken really well. On the issue of the education, Nigerians need to understand that getting to school is different from getting quality education. Some of our kids are educated, but they are not well informed. God bless Nigeria. Thank you very much. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good to have you join us. Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, this is Mr. Patrick. I'm calling from Ojo.
Okay.
You see, one thing government is doing, I don't know the kind of idea this government are bringing to people. You see, in every society, there are some children that are very brilliant. There are some children that are very brilliant, and these people are beating them back, setting them backward. We cause more harm to them than what you see they are doing. Let the government leave them. Let people want God are giving to them. The time God are giving to them. Not everybody is educated. Not everybody has the brain to study. Nothing can do government reason and do something accordingly. What kind of thing is this? In this country, where have you ever had this kind of thing before? In this APC, every time we have different things happening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, good evening. Hello. Ooh. Okay, I think I got you a bit late. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Ope.
Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Ralph, calling from Satellite Town.
Okay.
You see, in all these things, it's like this government always knows how to attract people. We all have started buying fuel for 900 naira up. We have diverted our attention to this education of a thing. To know all these things, just distraction. The attraction, no one's talking about the bad governance that's going on. Even in terms of education, education system is very, very bad these days. The school fees is too much. The system of foreign education in Nigeria is too bad. They don't talk about that. Students out of school is too much. No one's talking about that. That start up with the issue of 18 going to take work. This is a distraction. People are suffering around the road. Look at the fuel. No fuel. Nobody talk about fuel again. It's not about education. Please, let's focus on this. Is know what they are doing. They're trying to distract us from the reality. Well done, sir.
Thank you very much. 09136000410. Read your messages after this call. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. My name is Yusuf. I'm calling from the custom.
Okay, you're welcome.
So I want to quickly make comments about this putting benchmark on the age of people that can go into university.
Go on, please.
So I understand that might be what we have in our laws. And according to what you said, laws are made by people and it should work for people. And there is an opportunity for us to change things. The world changing. The way children of nowadays now assimilate things and understand it is far better than the way we used to think it was in those days. So I think we shouldn't have something like that, and it will be better for this government to rethink about it, because this thing will create a lot of jobs. We have a lot of students that are already in SS2 and they are just 15. So does that mean by next year when they are 16? So they should remain at home for the next 2 years. What will they be doing? What's the plan? What's the structure? So probably they need to come out and have a public discussion about this on a better way to make it work for people. So that's my point. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. There's a whole lot of more problems they were facing. But well, let's see how it goes. Let me quickly stop on Facebook. For me, I think the reason the government is coming with this archaic education policy implementation is to tactically reduce the level of unemployment in the country, as yearly graduates flood the labor market without job guarantee. They should know that the choice of what to do with the one's time lies with the individuals and parents in this regard. Government's duty is to provide the enabling environment. Okay. This one says is Dada, and it says there's a saying that when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse or misuse is inevitable. Tell me, all of the ministers that this government have appointed, which one has worked so far? This is what you get when you put square pegs in round holes. Remember, in Buhari's regime, he had Adamu that wasted 8 years, that doesn't know about education. Now we have another one continuing in the legacy, saying children should do WAEC and NECO shouldn't enter school until they are 18. Remember, it is the same party, same mentality, and now they destroyed education by reducing the cutoff mark of JAMB to 140 and 100 for poly. Where is the standard of old? They increase school fees, no research. Check our university's rating in the world. We are now moving 100 years backward. They've taken the children's bread and given it to the It's a shame that the worst of us is ruling the best of us. John Benjamin on Facebook says, why did Tinubu decide to waste Nigerian taxpayers' monies like this? Which diplomatic visit is he going to China at this ugly time that Nigerians are dying? If Tinubu is okay, John Benjamin, I won't take that last part of your message, but thank you. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Are you not hearing me?
Okay, I think it's better now. Prince Wise.
Yes, we see you for yes, Mr. Sport, that you go.
You're welcome.
Thank you, my dear. You see, I think this Minister for Education is proposal. Is take it to National Assembly?
It's not a proposal. It's a law that has been in existence. They just choose to implement it now.
Okay, what I know about the law that's existing now, it is one of 6334. That is where Papa was in Minister for Education. But if the law is in existence now, I wanted to amend the law. If somebody brings the secondary school at the age of 16, you now want that fellow to sit at you. If you don't go and learn job, he will remain at you. That 2 years, and make somebody to something bad. They can Yahoo, they can do another. But we don't want all this to happen. So if somebody is very brilliant, let him go to university now. But if you don't want you to go, let them people at that age. If we call you maybe for why, you may not make it as better, you may not make it at second time. So if someone now at the age of 18, they don't make it, second time don't make it.
Thank you,
how many years will you live for it before you will enter university?
Thank you.
And again, you have to do something for us. Let them make law. The young graduates will be around 24, 25 before. This is what to say, you know better than me.
Thank you, Prince Wise. Thank you very much. On Facebook, Ezenwa Justice is talking to us and he says, nice policy. I don't know why parents are rushing their children to. Okay. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Uncle.
You're welcome.
As regards this 18-year-old thing, for me, it's still neither here nor there. But more importantly, since we have a law that says before you do anything, probably you must be 18 and all of that. I think what we should be thinking about is that even if those who are 16, 17 get to school, and we also understand that they are minors, how do we protect them through that part where they get to 18 and get older to be able to handle certain things? Because we can't cause of all this, say, a 16-year-old should not write exams. And in as much as we are trying to enforce 18, how does government ensure that we protect these kids that are minors going into the university? I think that part has not really been discussed, and we need to look through that and make it up. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kennedy, for joining us. Mr. Muyiwa, now, it's different strokes for different folks. A lot of people think, it's a beautiful policy, the parents are rushing their kids, this and that. But in the face of the global practices right now, does this policy put us behind? Or you think, we're in Africa, we have our unique situation, we should do things in our own unique way? Let's call it a day from that perspective.
I think we are talking of a university. I think whatever happens here is not only limited to us. So university is universal.
Yes.
So what we are saying is that whatever happens in Oxford, I think, and Harvard, if we cannot get exactly it, I think we must move towards that direction. So that we'll call it university. And I don't know how you can say the African university should be different from whatever happens elsewhere in the world. But by and large, our education system, I think we are having crisis there. And those crises, the Minister of Education, I think Tahir Mama, should look into those issues and allow students that can skate through and pass. It is a shame of a country to be talking of JAMB at 140. Do you understand? We are talking of anybody that can have score 50% in exam being promoted, being assessed to have been passed to any whatever. Why can't JAMB just limit whatever to 200?
I mean, that's the 50. Let even say a C.
Yes, 50 C. So if you want to gain admission to university,
at least pass 200 and above first.
Have 200. That is that. So if we have underage that are writing that I cannot score 200, so let them continue writing until they grow to pass.
And they are lucky enough to scale 200.
Yes, and if you have a team that's brilliant than 40-year-old students writing, why must we stop it? The issue we should look into is why should they lower the bar to the extent of talking of 140
100 for poly and monotechnics.
You know, it's absurd. The 100 over 400. 150
over 400
over 400. What's percentage of that? No, what's percentage of charge? So you are saying that somebody who score
40% or 30%,
no, 30%
has done enough.
As I can enter university, why can't he insist on 40-50%? Because he knows that in that aspect, that section of the country, at least getting 50% and getting their university insisting on that, at least maybe some university will run dry. You understand? So we are not bringing age. What has age got to do it? All people that made some of the best inventions we are using in the country, are they aged? Are they not young smart people? So people have their brain not saturated with many distractions. Why can't you allow them to allow the process to follow through? Why must you delay them? That's the point we are making. So if anything at all the country should be ashamed of is lowering, I think the JAMB cutoff to 140. It's shameful.
Thank you very much. Unstoppable Senator says, don't forget that the minister is a prof, a former vice chancellor, and the JAMB registrar is also a prof. They know better why they are revising it. Ask your caller.
Prof of where? Vice chancellor of where? Which university?
Mr. Miwadiemi, thank you so much for being my guest.
We should not talk here. Today. We know what's happening elsewhere. Most of these universities are talking about. We know some of them go their professorship. I beg.
Thank you very much. I will be back by 6 o'clock, but the full bulletin comes up by 5:30. Thank you so much, Mr. Miwadiemi. My guest is pissed. I'm not sure I've seen him. This update. It's a situation and it's a conversation we'll have to continue to have. Let's see how some of these things can be reviewed to reflect our current realities. Stay safe. Tomorrow is Friday. The show returns by 4 o'clock, but I will be back by 6 for Sports Cruise. Live on Mainland 98.3 FM.
Mainland 98.3 FM. Don't touch the dial.